Joining me today is New Hampshire Representative Jack Flanagan, who's running for Congress in New Hampshire. Jack, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you, John, for having me. It's great to be here in Henniker.
You know, I always ask the people who are running for offices, just sort of a little bit about you,
Sure.
How you got to where you are, and start out with why are you running for office, in this case for Congress?
Well, I'll answer the second question first then, is why at first I wasn't sure. After talking with Jennifer Horn, who is the head of the GOP, she asked me the same question. And I actually went to a meeting where I met Governor Pataki when he was running for president. And he brought out some real issues that rang home, which was that people don't think we're going to be, our best days are behind us, or that their children are not going to be living as well as we are. And that is my philosophy in government, that we can make a difference. And try to make people's lives better. So that was really the motivating factor. It took me a little while to commit mentally and then take that next step to announce that I was running for CD too. My background, I did the local issues. I was the school board chairman. I was a vice chairman of a cooperative school district. I was a selectman. I chaired a finance committee for a number of years. A gentleman in the district retired. The other reps came to me and said, "We need you to run." And I said, "Tell me about it." And I ran in 2010. I've been up in Concord this is my third term. Last year I was the majority leader, and now I stepped down as the majority leader, and I'm now the vice chairman of Labor Committee because of the run for Congress.
So you've seen the impact of government that it has in various different levels.
Absolutely.
In the select board and the school boards, you've seen rules that happen in Washington,
Yep.
that happen in Concord, that affect sort of the local. Are there lessons you've learned from that that are important?
You know, as a Republican, you always hear, I'm here from the government, I'm going to solve your problems. And that's not the Republicans' position. But I was at Keene State College, and this young man had talked about the power of one is the miracle of many. And I thought that was very profound for a 20-year-old young man to say. And that's sort of the philosophy that I was thinking, is that if you can make a difference at a governmental level, there are ways that you can improve people's lives, whether it be working for a student that needs help. I had a single mom that was losing her home to foreclosure 2 days after Christmas. And I ended up calling the mortgage company and getting involved. And not that that stopped it, but at least gave her a few more months to get her business in line. So there are things that you can do to help people, and that's always been my focus. And going into Washington, D.C., there's plenty of opportunities to make things better.
We hear a lot about roadblocks, or there's two sides not being able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Is that by design or by chance, and is that a good thing or a bad thing?
The system is adversarial in its nature. That is, we have one party and the other party, and we don't necessarily always meet. But when we do meet, it tends to become very good legislation and very helpful a lot of times. You've got, say a conservative that doesn't want anything, any new spending, any new programs, and you have, and not to take sides, but labeling them a liberal, who will have any project and any plan and any spending and any tax. And I think it's that middle part of the population of legislators that may do the heavy lifting and get most of it done. And when we do come together, it hopefully becomes a positive thing. When I look at legislation, I view it, is it constitutional? Can we afford it? Does it make sense? And are there unintended consequences? And I think the last two are what we really need to focus on to make the country better. And of course, New Hampshire has been doing fairly well lately.
Are there pieces of legislation that you've seen specific unintended consequences that are examples of that? Because I'm actually interested in the sort of the economists would call it externalities.
Yeah. You're talking about locally or?
Wherever.
Well, I think we have our energy policy, if you want to call it, in the state. And we're relying upon sustainable energy, which is great. But the trouble is, to be sustainable, they must sustain the ratepayers to fund it. So at some point in time, we have to say that they have to be on a level playing field. And I'm not against solar, I'm not against wind. I'm just saying is at some point in time, the ratepayers in this state are seeing high rates, especially businesses, That's an example. Go ahead.
We're actually out of time in this segment, but before we leave, I do want to talk about businesses.
Sure.
When we return, we will focus on business issues, so please stay with us.